What's up, guys? Bzilla here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on notifications, do what you got to do. Appreciate everyone who is going to be watching us. Once again, going to do replay on 5 minute. Well, you don't know the key levels that we reversed today, so going into this is going to be pretty interesting. So let's just go through it 5 minute by 5 minute. Overnight low was basically previous week value area low. And we had a pretty decent sell-off overnight and a pretty decent gap down, which we'll see. We're opening up pretty strong, minus 2406 delta, strong big 5 minute candle right off the bat. I'm watching this level 65.53 continuation. You can see once we break that low of the candle, we have all that sell side imbalance, continuation down, even more delta, stronger delta. Weekly estimated move 66.38. Weekly estimated move, I like to not always take the guaranteed bounce off that level, but I like to kind of use it as my bias, as I'm not going to short underneath it, because the risk to reward isn't that good. Your short was from last week's close to the estimated move. So that's where I start to look for reversals. Kind of if I'm shorting, they're going to be quicker scalps, but you know, the risk to reward isn't the best past weekly estimated move, unless you got a complete trend week, which does happen every so often. But two strong candles. Let's see what happens after that. We have kind of our first big order. Yeah, first big order. Well, we had one right open, but first aside order, and volume got bigger. Delta got lower. 5 minute retested VWAP. Trend days usually don't like to retest VWAP that quick throughout the day. I think the first hour, if there's no VWAP test, I think it's a trend day. Not 100% sure on that stat, but definitely to see a complete trend day down, I don't want to see a quick VWAP retest. Strong move up. Mids 45, SMA move hit. We're kind of, we had strong buyers come in, and then we kind of broke up and right back down. Indecisive candle there. Another decent move up, but oh wait, that's where we kind of want to look at the other chart. Okay, so we had a break up, down. One thing to note: the RTX VWAP. These are RTX VWAP bands. Standard deviation is 2.3 to 3. This is RTH. The red one's going to be ETH, and this is kind of a new lower. We didn't make a new lower low. Doji candle with about break even delta. Definitely going to show indecisive. Kind of, dojis could be indecisive or reversal. Caught that reversal right above that candle we saw. I don't know why I'm saying we, but I saw on this replay. Stacked imbalance here. So I like to, when I was on the 15 minute, I used to mark these up, and they worked out really well. I'm gonna have to see how they are in 5 minutes. 2 stacked imbalances breaking over VWAP, almost making it to opening print, and then daily high. Next 5 minute, huge positive delta here at 6660. I kind of want to mark that up. Type a red one. Let me do blue. To show it ask side. There we go. And when I see those orders, you always want to use context. You know, it's right at opening print. Right there, VWAP, previous week value area low. There's a lot of, you know, key levels at that area that, you know, that's level I kind of want to see held. And if it does break down, I kind of want to see it broken back above. You know, use context. For me, this kind of looks like stops being hit. You know, shorts pushed it down, stops were hit there, right above opening print. Decent positive delta moving up. Here's kind of our too many imbalances. I don't like to see too many. I kind of want to see continuation candles pretty balanced. And then we had 6670 bid side. So let's kind of just see that reactions to those stacked imbalances. Delta 274, 409, 229. Basically nothing happening here. So when I see nothing happening, I kind of mark up the high and low right here. I kind of want to see which way this breaks. That candle was pretty strong negative delta, and it came almost back to break even. So they're battling. Sellers tried taking it there, but it looked like a passive buyer wanted to push it back up. When able to get up, you could see as soon as we hit underneath that, turn deep red. Stacked imbalance broken down, right back to VWAP. VWAP bounce. I use VWAPs not as a place to go long or short. I like to use them as PTs. So that stacked imbalance went away. Back up in this level. Are they going to short this level once again? And that's perfect. It came back right back up. Basically to the mid of this level. I think I put the mid on there. Yeah, basically right to the mid of that box we had earlier. Put it right back up and then a continuation down. Right back to the mid at 1120. Mid or low kind of liquidity. Mid's kind of holding. Mid could be, I consider the daily pivot. Weekly mids, you know, could be considered weekly pivot. Nice push up. Kind of like a false breakdown of this. So probably going to be a breakout. Or a false breakout. Previous lows right here, so it was a true gap down. Definitely want to see the gap fill. There's that new high at day. Pushing in. Very small candle, not really a continuation. You want to see these candles get bigger and bigger as continuation happens. Nothing really happening. More negative deltas piling on. One thing to note, kind of push this away. One thing to note is POC did get moved to the high. Inertia balance kind of was a false breakout here. So if we do get back to the mid and below, we're definitely going to go to the other side of initial balance. We kind of had a false breakout. No continuation. You can tell 1264 did minus delta all the way. Until minus 1231 below that is when they continue that selling. Right back down to VWAP. VWAP bounce. VWAP bounce. Kind of higher delta. Higher volume, but 274 delta, not really strong delta coming in. You can tell that candle right here, how much more negative delta that is compared to this huge bigger candle with positive delta. It's just like a little divergence. 660 is 660 holding. I think I caught a few bounces off of this. We also had a wall today, but I can't replay walls. Can't really replay that. I could see it. A delta wall was 50 to 54. I'll put that on here. It came in at like 11. So the wall right here, I'm gonna take that off. The walls, I want to see like liquidity wall. I want to see like if they bounce, I want to see a new high a day, or if they're gonna bounce. I wish I had a marker. If it goes like this, come back down to the wall, and then doesn't make a higher high. You know, I'm expecting this liquidity, you know, the wall to bounce. Like, the way I want to hold this, you could see a strong move, quick move away from that. We had a lot of things there. Caught I think two nice bounces first. One here, one here. Finally broke through. So we didn't really bounce that higher. It looked way better. Yeah, lower low. And that's still 10-point bounce. Finally broke through. And then I always like to use this level, if we do get back above it, to kind of use it as support. So that's what I'm going to be watching if we are able to get back to it. But this wall was, you know, holding previous week value area low, was the mid, was also, I think, today's value area low, because today we had a P-shaped profile. It's kind of like this, which is short covering at open, which kind of seemed the thing they had to cover right at the opening print. You can tell where we consolidated before the drop was right at opening print. Pretty decent buyer coming in. So with the P-shaped profile, I always look for, you know, certain levels on the way down to see if it's basically a short covering. And then if they can't catch buyers at the top of where they consolidate up here, they're gonna start looking lower for buyers. So what I look for is kind of like these lower levels. And then if they aren't able to grab new buyers, they're gonna go new low day, and that's where hopefully they do grab the buyers. But basically, it's the rally from the morning was just shorts selling because we got down so hard. They took profit, not strong buyers. So what they want to do is, after that rally, they want to see if new buyers do come in. If they do step in, you know, price will continue up. If not, they want to come down, see if they can grab true buyers. If not, we're going to roll over until the new low a day, and I'm pretty sure that's what we did today. Decent bounce off that stacked and balance we had here. It's a little one. Strong move down, creating a new low a day. What I like to do when new low days happen, especially like if takes a couple hours to do, I always look for that liquidity. We finally hit the RTX VWAP band. This is the only time we've actually hit it all day, and that is a good strategy of mine. 5 minute inside, 5 minute broke up. Nice long, could have been 34. So you put a VWAP there, kind of watch it go up on the VWAP. 34. So I would have been long 34. I would have taken PT at mid, and then watching this liquidity level. If we're able to break above this liquidity level, you know, I said I was going to use it as support to see if it continues up. Yes, I have VWAP sitting right above it, so I kind of want to watch this happen. Little rejection, but candles are still green. There's that first red candle. Still, you know, if that's going to be seller, that's going to be strong negative delta. So basically break even, not a reason to get out of that trade. To 3 bars, so you kind of want to see it continue down. And I probably would have got out there. but that 5-minute candle didn't continue down. And then we are breaking above another PT would have been VWAP. And then, you know, we had that 660 level. I had that huge delta. Definitely would have see if we could get above that and hold. And that probably really scared me out. And I probably might have re-entered when I saw this level hold that support a couple more times. But we are getting towards the end of the day. I took off early, so I didn't really catch that support bounce. But, you know, right here, 34. And if I would have taken the VWAP or the mid, 34, 20 points, 1 ES, that's pretty good enough trade for the day. And then we're just going to play it out. It's kind of indecisive here, indecisive here. There's opening print, and that's 660 again. And you can definitely use that level going forward because there's a lot of liquidity there. Someone's willing to purchase or sell. And I'm just going to slow it down and then play out the rest. 335 basically did hold. We are holding that wall today. Support. Deltas are basically break even. No one really wants to take a side right here. Overnight low, mid. That liquidity zone, opening print, that possibly short cover right here. And then this is how it looks at their 350 print, 355 print, and over, you know, kind of end of day on how crazy these orders do come in. But appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and everyone enjoy their day.